the FDA to begin studies on magic mushrooms, a first for the agency. What this means for the future of psychedelics. Well, I'm excited. Let's get started. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, just greenlighted Filament Health Corporation, a clinical stage company in the natural psychedelic medicine development business, to do a study on the effects of certain psychedelic drugs. Wonder what those certain psychedelic drugs could be. Possibly psilocin and psilocybin, the active component of magic mushroom. Filament has already created around 70 strains, 70 strains of psychedelic mushrooms to be used for research, and they were able to raise a cool 2.5 mil to continue studying the use of psychedelics through stabilized formulas. These would offer patients the benefit of better bioavailability, consistency, and a quicker onset, as well as a reduction in side effects. Cool. This is the first FDA-approved study on psychedelics in its history, so round of applause. The first phase will be taking place at UCSF, that's the University of California at San Francisco, and it's going to be headed by a Dr. Joshua Woolley. Another interesting thing, this is the first FDA-approved study to use natural psilocybin and psilocin from mushrooms, whereas previous studies have only used synthetic mushrooms. We're actually taking magic mushrooms and extracting the psilocin and psilocybin from these, as opposed to synthesizing the component in the lab. The trial intends to study 3 of Filament's natural drug candidates, which have been extracted naturally, then stabilized. The researchers intend to analyze the effects of psilocin and psilocybin when administered orally, as well as sublingually. Yeah, we need to analyze these things scientifically. Scientists have been legally prohibited from doing research into psychedelics for so many years, but if we allow the research, we can gain a better understanding of how they work, and they won't be, these big scary drugs and woo-woo and all this. It's just something that you can really look at and find out more about. If we can find out how we can help, who we can treat, then we should do that. We should get right on that. And we are, which is wonderful. So, big question, will psychedelics follow the legalization blueprint of marijuana? There's no doubt about it. What do you think? According to this article, it's clear psychedelics are now being taken seriously by the stakeholders in big pharma and investors, because shrooms could replace pharmaceutical drugs, MDMA could replace pharmaceutical drugs, LSD, ibogaine, 5-MeO. All of these things could be integrated into the pharmaceutical landscape, and they could possibly convince people to start using those things instead of whatever they're already taking. But yeah, the psychedelic revolution is upon us, and the movement to legalize or at least decriminalize what were once known as party drugs, MDMA, shrooms, LSD, because of their powerful therapeutic potential. And so this is one thing in my head. I didn't think that shrooms, LSD, things like that would ever be really considered for legalization. And it's crazy how far we've come. Denver, Colorado, at the same time they were legalizing weed, they decriminalized shrooms. Washington, D.C. Actually, in 2020, Oregon, as an entire state, passed a bill that decriminalized magic mushrooms for therapeutic and recreational use, I believe. So yeah, we are making progress.